Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, as well as the thumbs up button, and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify, Apple, or Google, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. This content is brought to you by Uphold, which makes crypto investing easy. I've been using Uphold since 2017. They're one of my go-to exchanges. You can buy, sell, trade crypto. They have 10 plus million users, 250 plus cryptocurrencies, and they're available in 150 countries. Right now, they're running a great promotion where you buy $600 in crypto and you can get $50 in Bitcoin for free. If you'd like to learn more, please visit the link in the description. All right, guys, let's start off with the crypto prices before we jump into the news. What is Bitcoin going to do this week? And of course, the altcoins are watching Bitcoin, waiting patiently to see what's Bitcoin's next move because look, Bitcoin drives the market, right, guys? Bitcoin has a strong move up, its dominance goes up, then it hits an overbought scenario, then the capital flows to the altcoins, the alts start moving, the alts get to an overbought scenario, then the capital then goes to Bitcoin, right? It's a cycle that is repeated for years. It's how things have played out. That doesn't mean it's going to continue to play out like that years from now, but that's how it is right now. So we have to use that as a benchmark. So if you look at Bitcoin, it is currently sitting around $27,000, $28,000, really building support levels here, consolidating, and still looking bullish on the weekly chart after the massive green candle we had over the past week. If we look at the daily chart, you can see that consolidation happening here, guys. So building that support level, then it can blast up to higher prices. Now, there is some key resistance here at the $30,000 price point. So we want to watch that closely. Could it do that this week? Maybe, right? But I also want to make sure that you guys know there is a bearish scenario out there. Now, I believe the bullish scenario has a higher probability of playing out versus the bearish, but you never know what can happen because we are in very, very unique macroeconomic situations with the banking crisis, inflation, rates, interest rates, I should say, the Fed. All these things could, cause markets to sell off if there's something was to go south. So we have to be prepared for all scenarios. But like I said, I think the bullish scenario has the higher probability of playing out. We've been really looking at Bitcoin for the past year at the retracement potential, similar to what we saw in 2019. I believe that retracement scenario is playing out. It doesn't happen overnight or over a couple of weeks. It happens over months. So we're seeing the pattern moving here, guys. I haven't changed this drawing here on my trading view chart. It has been the same way. Those of you who've been following me and listening to me, you know this. You can go back and look at the old videos, right? It's how we've been looking at it on the chart. So if Bitcoin continues its move, it goes to 40K, 40 to 50K. Of course, alts will follow. So that's what we're looking for, guys. And I will be taking profits off the table because, like I said, we are in very uncertain times with the macro. I'm not saying you have to sell all your crypto. Of course, you do your own research, do what's best for you. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing because I want to make sure that I have some cash. I take some profits just in case things get rocky later this year, before the bull market starts in next year after the Bitcoin halving, and that will continue into 2025. So I'm being very transparent with you guys, just letting you know what my strategy is. Once again, you don't have to follow me, you don't have to listen to me, but I'm at least sharing with you what I'm looking at from my experience being in this market since 2016. I've been through multiple bull and bear markets, and we have not seen a macro environment like this for crypto, and especially with the heavy pushback on crypto and enforcement actions, right? Operation Choke Point, the SEC, and so forth. Now, speaking of crypto regulations, we got news today that the G7 is to collaborate on tighter crypto regulation. Leaders from Japan, United States, United Kingdom, Canada, France, Germany, and European Union are expected to outline a global cooperative strategy for digital assets in May. So this is great news. These countries have to come together, put together comprehensive regulations. And, the United States really needs that because there's so much confusion, such a mess here. What's a security? What's a commodity? And we have government agencies, the CFTC, the SEC, all battling for control. It's pretty pathetic, in my opinion, and the United States needs to act. So let me give you the details. The next G7 meeting might bring a push from the 7 biggest democracies for tougher regulations on cryptocurrencies around the world, Kyodo News Agency reported on March 25th. Together, the leaders from Japan, the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, France, Germany, and the European Union will outline a cooperative strategy to increase crypto transparency and enhance consumer protections, as well as address potential risks to the global financial system, officials told Kyodo. This year's summit is set to happen in Hiroshima in May. Among the G7 members, Japan already regulates cryptocurrencies, while the European Union's markets in crypto assets, or MiCA, regulation is set to go into effect in 2024. The United Kingdom is gradually developing its crypto framework with a special category for crypto assets on tax forms recently introduced and plans for a digital pound in the works. So they got to get this right. Absolutely need to protect consumers because there are scammers, right? In every industry in new tech, you have scammers come along. They try to take advantage of things. So these countries need to have a clear outline of what they're doing. And an example of that is, in Europe and Japan and Singapore and so forth, they view digital assets, crypto, as virtual currency. While in the United States, corrupt regulator Gary Gensler is trying to say they're all securities, with the exception of Bitcoin. So it's massively confusing, and they need to figure this out. And like I said, big part of that is also protecting consumers. So they said here, Canada treats digital assets as securities, and the United States currently applies existing financial regulations to crypto, with some anticipating a crypto regulatory framework from lawmakers in the coming months. Parallel efforts towards standards for digital assets are being made by Financial Stability Board, the International Monetary Fund, and the Bank of International Settlements, the group of the 20 biggest economies of the world, collectively known as G20, announced in February during a meeting in Bengaluru, India. So hopefully they can get this right, guys. And the bigger push from these other countries, maybe it forces the United States Congress to do something, because we're in limbo. And my hope is Congress can act this year. That'd be really, really good. And here we're getting news that Gary Gensler, corrupt regulator Gary Gensler, he and his SEC folks have been lobbying their UK and Canadian counterparts to pinch the crypto industry in the same way as the US. The FCA, which is the Financial Conduct Authority, which regulates financial services firms and markets in the UK, is preparing an announcement. She says here about tightening restrictions in the coming weeks, while Canada has already announced sweeping crackdowns against the industry. And here, Eleanor Toretta Fox-Smith, she's the one that reported on this. She said, and those saying this is incorrect, the correspondence is, at the very least, certainly taking place. And she highlighted Gary Gensler's calendar here in a meeting with different folks in the UK and the FCA and so forth. So let's see what happens, guys. Hopefully Gary's not influencing these folks in other countries. And, this is kind of one of the reasons why I'm saying I'm going to be taking some profits off the table, because I don't know what's coming down the road. And I'm not saying that to bring fear or, have people get nervous, but rather in the short term, as I've been saying, it's going to be rough seas, right? But in the long term, I'm bullish. Like, I believe this is all going to be figured out. Crypto's here to stay. We've seen it. The genie's out the bottle. They're not, if they wanted to ban this, they would have come out and say, hey, we're banning this, we're stopping this, but it's here to stay. They're just going to regulate it. Now, there is a whole process to that. There's a dog and pony show to that. There's a lot of political grandstanding to that. It'll be a lot of back and forth, and eventually they'll get it right. But I have my long-term bags, and, I'll be taking some profits off the table on the short term just to make sure I got that cash and I'm good, just in case. So that's why I'm doing and talking about these things and reminding you, don't forget to take profits as this rally takes place. Now, speaking of crypto regulations in Congress, Congressman Warren Davidson, who's been a big crypto advocate, he has put out the Token Taxonomy Act and other crypto bills. He retweeted some folks talking about pro crypto and pro Bitcoin Democrats are lining up their voice in their opposition to their own party stance. Democrats are on the verge driving their own voters away and losing support from this important new voter bloc. In my opinion, it could cost Democrats the 2024 election. So Warren Davidson retweeted this tweet that contained this information, and he said, let's make the hashtag fire Gary movement bipartisan. So you have people in Congress who also just seeing what Gary Gensler's doing, and they're just like, yeah, this is ridiculous. So we need Gary Gensler kicked out or at least held accountable. So I love this. And Congressman Warren Davidson also said it doesn't have to stay that way. My Token Taxonomy Act is and has always been 100% bipartisan. And he's right. It includes Darren Soto, who's a Democrat, and Warren Davidson, of course, a Republican. He said the issue is not partisan, but generally libertarian versus authoritarian. Love the Patriot Act, ? Likely anti-crypto. Hate the Patriot Act, likely pro-crypto. So I'm glad, you have gentlemen like Congressman Davidson here, putting out bills, taking a stance, and helping to call out guys like Gary Gensler. Now, here's some interesting news out of Germany, because despite all the things I just said, right, we're seeing big names adopt crypto and launch services. So over 1,200 German banks can now offer Bitcoin trading to their retail customers. Folks, not institutional, retail. So Deutsche Wertpapier Bank AG, DWP Bank, my goodness, a German securities processing giant that manages over 5.3 million securities accounts, has announced the launch of its new platform, WPNEX, that enables over 1,200 affiliate banks to offer Bitcoin trading to its retail customers. According to the press release published on March 22nd, via the WPNEX platform, crypto trading can be seamlessly integrated into the customer's online banking experience. Customers can see their cryptocurrency holdings alongside their traditional securities with no pre-funding necessary. Folks, my OG subscribers, remember what I was saying? For a long time, remember the mock scenario I would give? Hello, Mr. John. This is George from your bank. We're now offering cryptocurrency trading. You don't have to do anything. You just let us know. We can help invest some of your money into it. Here are the different assets we offer, and we custody it for you. You'll get it in your monthly statement. You can log in online and see it, right? Guys, how long have we been talking about this? It's coming, and it's going to come globally, folks. Here in the United States, one company that is working to help local banks and federal credit unions to offer Bitcoin is NYDIG. And I've had some folks from NYDIG on the podcast in the past. And, NYDIG is backed by some big Wall Street names, but the on and off ramps, the ability for banks and traditional brokers and so forth to offer crypto, the infrastructure is being built. So here in Germany, it's happening, folks. Amazing what's happening. Amazing how far we've come. And once again, look at the juxtaposition of the language from certain people, from politicians, even from the White House, and look at the adoption, right? In the last podcast I did, I talked about NASDAQ launching crypto custody, Fidelity rolling out their crypto trading service, even though there's negativity, there is massive enforcement from different agencies. Gary Gensler's going after everything. Coinbase gets hit with a Wells notice, yet NASDAQ comes out and says, oh yeah, we're launching crypto custody in Q2, right? Fidelity launches their full crypto trading 2 weeks ago. So these big players, they know what's coming, and they're just moving ahead. So this is really, really big news, and watch what they do, not what they say. Now, CZ actually retweeted this news. He said, banks need crypto, period. Now, on its face, you may say, oh, okay, CZ just, tweeted out banks need crypto. But if you take what he's saying in context to what the hell is happening with the banks right now. They definitely need crypto. Crypto is another avenue where they can help build their sustainability and revenue and fees and so forth. So, indeed, they do need crypto. It's not just a saying, oh, everybody needs crypto, but rather banks need this business, right? They need this business to survive. Clearly, the way they've been functioning with fractional reserve banking and investing in bonds and investing in US treasuries and other treasuries or whatever has not worked out well. Right? Right now, a lot of them are feeling the pain. And another avenue, another business lane is crypto. So I think CZ's right here. If you just expand on it and you look at the context. Now, here's some interesting statements from VC capital, or I should say venture capital investor Tim Draper. He said Tim Draper recommends founders hold at least 2 payrolls worth of cash in crypto. American venture capital investor Tim Draper warned business founders to prepare for more and more bank failures if the government continues to print money and whipsaw interest rates. He's right. And the only thing though, these regulators, like especially the folks at the OCC, are trying to roll back certain things that banks and financial institutions can do with as far as holding crypto. So it would probably make sense for these businesses to do that, to hold certain crypto and just have it as a reserve, because right now it's tough out there in the banking world. And I think it makes sense. Now, should they go all in crypto? I don't think so. That's too risky, but I think it makes sense to hold some crypto as reserves. Now, some big Vechain news, guys. They tweeted out, we recently launched our white paper co-developed with Boston Consulting Group, detailing our approach to solving global sustainability challenges with blockchain. Below, we summarize how the Vechain token will lead real-world Web3 adoption and meet ESG/SDG goals. And the white paper is called Web3 for Better, dated this month, March 2023. And Sunny Liu, founder of founder of Vechain, I was about to say G-Chain, he said, I would call it Web3 Sustainability Bible. Could be a draft version with lots of iterations in the coming years. So I am bullish on Vechain. I know, folks look at the price and they're like, oh, it didn't do that well, and so forth. But I'm actually holding Vechain like I'm holding XRP and HBAR and so forth on Algorand for the long term. I believe those are like the Googles and the eBays and the PayPals and so forth of the .com boom, and the Amazons and so forth of crypto. And it won't happen overnight. Yes, I have some swing trade coins and things I make money off of. I take profit off the table, but I'm accumulating these tokens and just, holding them for the long term. Now, could Vechain not turn out to be what we expected? Sure. But that's investing, right? Not everything is going to be a winner, but you want to make sure you're partnering with companies that are solving a real world problem. They're getting partnerships. They're being leaders, thought leaders, and they continue to build and expand. There are developers there. There's multiple iterations of their blockchain and just making things better. And I see that with Vechain. So price, is not always an indication of a project and how well it's doing, because price can easily be manipulated. I mean, look at meme coins, right? I mean, it's not like meme coins are getting global adoption, solving real world problems. There's just a lot of speculation. So you have to be able to, segment these things. What are the Amazons, the Googles, and while they may not do well from a price standpoint right now, long term, they could do well. And what are maybe some of the, look, I'm not saying you shouldn't invest in meme coins, but rather, what are some short-term coins that maybe will pump well and you take some profits and you make money, right? That's how I kind of look at it. I swing trade some crypto. I have my long-term bags as well. Finally, Telegram users can now transfer USDT through chats. USDT, which is, of course, the Tether stablecoin, has been added to the wallet bot on Telegram, expanding the messaging app's facility for buying and selling crypto. So I use Telegram, to chat with certain people who, um, want to talk about crypto and different things. And the fact that you can send crypto through that, it's pretty cool. So we're seeing expansion and growth. And, I can't wait to see when these social platforms like Twitter and so forth start integrating things like this, especially here in the United States. It's I think it's going to take off, and I think this is part of what the government's worried about, that people will be able to, bypass sending actual cash per se, even though it's digital. And but look, they're trying to build their CBDC to do things like this, where you won't, everything's on the blockchain. The CBDCs are in the blockchain, so you don't need to have to worry about hacks and, full financial KYC, AML, and every facet of every app, but rather the CBDC is running on the blockchain. You can track everything, and it's secured because of the blockchain, right? So this is why those governments are trying to release their CBDCs, and you already have but the technology is already here, the stable coins and cryptos that we can send each other. So yeah, guys, interesting things happening. Anyway, that's the news. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you all later.